My name is Nicole, and I'm a Brandman University student. So, I'm going to talk about how you would assess a client for safety. Oftentimes, you'll hear phrases like DTO or DTS. DTO means danger to others and danger to self. For the last 3.5 years, I've been working in a crisis program that deals with clients who have come from the hospital for danger to self or others. So, I've been using a lot of different screeners and different tools and stuff for my place of employment. We've gone through many different assessments of what works best. But one of the tools that I personally have liked the best and is one of the most easiest, and it doesn't require you having to take out a form or anything. And we do it after the client is out of the room. So we basically have, it's so simple, we have memorized it, and we no longer need the form like in front of us to be able to use the assessment tool. And it's a tool we like to call the Scissors, the Columbia Suicide Severity Rating Scale. And it's super simple. It's 6 questions, and it does a really good job to screen clients for their level of risk of being a danger to themselves or others. So one of the questions, and it doesn't have to be exactly how it is written on here as long as it's similar. That's how we learned how to use it. So one of the questions could be, if have you ever thought about being dead or what it would be like to be dead? And if this client asks or answers yes to this question, we automatically go to the next set of 4 questions. And then one of the other questions is, have you ever thought about what you would do in order to make yourself not alive anymore? So this would be like, would you take pills? Would you hang yourself? Would you cut your wrists? Things like that. And again, if they answer yes to this question, if they answered no to the question before that, we would move on to the next 4 questions. So another questions would be, and we make this like a casual conversation because all of our kids are coming to us for suicide or homicidal ideation. So we already know what's happening. So we're just kind of assessing the level and their risk and seeing if what their baseline might be. So one of the things would be, have you been thinking about how you might do this? Again, that's kind of getting an idea of how far this client has been thinking about it. Like, how deep is it? Deep thinking about it? Like, is it something that they would actually do? Would they try an overdose? Things like that, as opposed to kind of just like a passing thought. Then we kind of ask questions like a timeline. When you thought about making yourself alive anymore, do you feel like it's something you might actually do? And when, if you were going to do it. So we want to make sure that it's not, again, not just like a passing thought, and it's something that they aren't thinking like thoroughly through. You always want to make sure that they're not actually making and creating a plan. Again, you want to ask about methodology, which method they would use, things like that. And if they've planned out details. Usually clients who actually haven't truly thought about suicide, they usually don't have a set plan or a method or type and how and when they would do it. So again, these questions are really important to see their seriousness, basically, of their intent to commit suicide. And then another question would be, have you ever done anything such as starting to collect or preparing to end your life? And this is things like, have you started collecting pills? Have you acquired a gun? Have you started writing notes goodbye? Have you started saying goodbye to your friends? Have you started giving your things away? Again, this measures like a client's actual intent and seriousness of it. Not to say that any client contemplating or even thinking about suicide is not serious. It's just some clients have passing thoughts, like an everyday thought, like, I wonder what it'd be like to not be alive anymore, and it stops at that. But then we have the clients who I wonder what it's like to not be alive anymore. Would I do it this way? Would I do it that? When would I do it? Would I do it 2 weeks from now? Things like that. So that's kind of why it's important to assess clients' levels of danger to themselves and others. And of course, if it's a danger to others and they're giving a complete plan and method of how they would do it, you want to make a TerraSoft report to warn the other party to make sure that the other party is safe as well. So assessing the level of suicide and homicidal ideation is super important in the very beginning of any session with any client.